everyone, Vivek this side. Today I'm going to talk about a new game that I created for the Game Jam. The theme of the Game Jam was out of control, and I sort of spun my game around that theme. I don't think it actually fits the theme. But anyways, the Game Jam was for 48 hours, and I wanted to create something different than I had created earlier. So this time, instead of using a player character, I thought I would play around with the camera movements a bit. And as you can see, this is what the game feels like. This game is based upon or inspired from a game that I used to play a long time back. And, in that game, the camera will take you to different locations. And then you have to actually shoot the enemies so the bullets would spray out of the gun. I didn't have that much time to recreate that, the feel of that earlier game. So I just thought that I'll make it an instinct-based game where you will get an opportunity to shoot the enemy. And if you didn't shoot him in a X millisecond of time, you'll get shot. Art-wise, I tried to give this game a Western theme. Now, when you think about the mechanics of the game, and that was the whole fun part, designing the mechanics and algorithm. So when you think about such a theme, so what are the main elements that need to happen? First of all, the camera needs to move from one location to another, and the movement should be pleasant enough to watch. Second thing, when the camera reaches a particular position, an enemy would spawn up. Then you will get X milliseconds of time to shoot him, and then you can play with that X milliseconds to increase the difficulty level of the game. For example, one particular character you have to shoot within 20 milliseconds, another character you have to shoot between 10 milliseconds. And once that cycle will complete, if you shoot the enemy, then you will move to the whole cycle will repeat. The camera will move to a different position and so on and so forth. Now let's jump to Unity to show you what I did to recreate that game mechanics. First of all, what are the different locations the camera can move at? I created empty at those locations, and these locations are just the town home windows where enemies will spawn up. Now, as the game update loop will start, a random position will be chosen. The camera will transition to that destination location. So there is a swift movement of the camera, and this is achieved by this command. And once camera is at that position, the empty will sort of activate. A trigger will start. Enemy will spawn up, and that trigger is for X milliseconds. Where you can do two things. You can shoot if it's an enemy, which will end the cycle of that spawned position, and the camera will move to a different location and the whole cycle will begin again. Or if you choose not to shoot, or the trigger will be over before you shoot, that will mean you failed and that will trigger a game over. Now, randomly at that particular location, we are spawning either enemy or, as I said earlier, a non-enemy or normal town folk. And I only get a time to create two sprites, so I'm just swapping between these two. But you could technically create an array of enemies or an array of town folks. So that is happening over here. So this is very simple. You are just randomly choosing an integer and then choosing between those two sprites. Now, depending on what you have chosen, and this is the script that took me, a lot of time. I am not destroying any empties, I'm just destroying the sprites. So I had to do a clean exit cycle so that once camera will come again to this position, the whole cycle will repeat properly. So I had to cancel all the triggers that I had created and just clear the sprites. Now for the special effects, there are not many special effects here, but I wanted to do a shoot flash. And that is achieved by using just a white square and parent it to the camera. Once you shoot it, I'm just, with the help of Unity timeline, I am changing the alpha value of this square. Second thing is gun, it's just a small sprite. And once you click on shoot, I am just doing a little short action by raising the gun a bit. But I think that movement is getting lost with the flash. There are no death animations, so there are no blood splatters that is happening in that game. There isn't any death animation. I didn't get a time to complete that. The high score is simple. It will record how many times you shoot the enemy, and it will just increment the counter every time you shoot it. And at the end, it will just show you that. So that was just a brief overview of what this game was all about. And as I said earlier, I just created something that I haven't done before, and I really enjoyed that part. Although I was not able to complete the game for the game jam, there were a couple of bugs, and I had to submit the game with those bugs in. But I, polished the game after the jam, and if you go to HIO and play it, it's better than what it was earlier. The town art is borrowed, a citation below. So I think that's what game jams are for. You devise new mechanics, you play around with that, and you create something that you really enjoy. So I just wanted to share that part with you all. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.